before examining the facts, before examining the concrete cases. So that will be a priori definition. Perhaps you choose to give the definition a posteriori, I mean post hoc, after the facts and after examining the facts. Both ways actually fail in giving us a very workable even definition of religion, because there are a variety of religions in the world. There are religions which do not believe in any deity whatsoever, and there are religions which, of course, the idea of deity, the God, is pivotal to them. For us, for example, the idea of Allah is the most central idea in Islam, and without it, the whole teachings of Islam will be null and nothing. But as you know, Buddhism, for example, is the prominent example of a religion, a very vast religion indeed, without any idea of deity, and consciously denying God, and having no recourse to this idea, and having no access to it, and actually have no belief in God whatsoever. Only a sort of experiential religion they have. Now, among the religions which believe in God, there are religions which are polytheist, have a number of gods, and there are monotheism, and so on and so forth. We usually really do not know how we classify, for example, Christianity. Is it a polytheist religion? Is it a monotheist religion? Now the scholars insist that it is monotheist, and this Trinity means three faces of the same God or whatever. I'm not sure. But in the past, of course, Trinity perhaps used to be taken more seriously, and so, as you know, it is a secret, it's a mystery in Christianity. But Judaism and Islam are very strictly monotheist, and do not accept any kind of polytheism whatsoever. So all in all, when you have all this in front of your eyes, and examples can be more than this, you will find that having a definition which can cover all these religions, whether a priori or posteriori, is not possible. And that's why actually sociologists and philosophers now have virtually abandoned defining religion. And so we have to give a very, very general description of what religion might be. The tendency nowadays is towards defining or describing religion not on the basis of the teachings, on the outward teachings of religions, monotheism, Judaism, whatever, but on the esoteric experience of the religious people. Because after all, religion is based on some sort of belief, and beliefs are not taken from empirical facts, but from a sort of orientation, a mental, a spiritual orientation on the part of the believer towards reality, towards a kind of transcendence in reality. So the attitude of dependency, of feeling some holiness in the universe and something, that is a kind of what we call it, something which is common to all religions. Heavenly, divine or non-divine, something like that. Let us, this is not quite a new idea. If you look back into the Islamic culture in the past, at least among our mystics, we have the idea of shell and kernel. This is very familiar to our mystics, to the Orafa, as you know. Let us take of shell and kernel. In the case of religion, what is it? How do you put it in Arabic? Sa'id. No, not Orafa. No, shell and kernel. So you have got the kernel, of course, and that is the arms. Yes, al-lub wal-qish. Yes, oh yes, correct. Yeah. You have got the lub, which is the kernel, and then you have got the qish, which is the shell. Now, we do not have this concept in the original teachings of religion. Definitely it is not in Quran, secondly, and I do not remember any prophetic tradition whatsoever that mentions this. This is a gloss on the part of the scholars of mystics, especially on the teaching of religion. They have come to the conclusion that we can classify the teachings of religion, the whole body of Islam, say, into two parts. The essential ones, to like, that we call it the kernel, the lobe, and then we have got the shell, which is there around the kernel. Now this shell has got two different functions, which are very important. One is the function, it functions as a protective belt. See, in order to preserve the kernel, you have to have something to preserve it, to keep it tight, intact, and let us say healthy, uncontaminated, in order to be conveyed to the later generations, the posterity, and so on. So there are, parts of Islam, religion, which functions as a shell in this particular sense. And then, of course, as you might guess, there is a difference in value, a valuational difference between the shell and the kernel. The kernel is more important, so to speak, more valuable than the shell. Shell can be sacrificed at the doorstep of the kernel for the sake of the kernel. Sometimes we may forsake, we may abandon, we may sacrifice the shell. So both, it has got two different functions. First, it gives you a protective belt, and this is for the people who study religion. And then you know what to do with them, which is more important than the other. According to the same scholars, actually the shell, fiqh, is part of the shell, and even ethics, the morality, is part of the shell. I'm not saying that they are not important, but they are not as important as the kernel. Now the kernel here is something which is subject to interpretation. What is the kernel part of it? Now, according to the theologians, the kernel consists of the main beliefs of Islam. Believe in one God, believe in the prophethood of the prophet, in the resurrection, the after, and so on and so forth. According to them, this is the kernel. This has to be preserved. And this is the essence of Islamicity, if you like. For a Muslim, in order to be Muslim, in order to abandon kufr and become of Islam, the belief in the prophethood of the prophet, in the oneness of God, in the resurrection is necessary, is incumbent. Without this, you cannot call somebody a Muslim. So according to them, this is the God. The rest are shell. But according to the mystics, the kernel is the religious experience, the esoteric experience, the experience of God, of the transcendental unity of God, having a sort of relationship with Him, like the prophetic experience itself. You see, actually, according to mystics, following the prophet does not mean following his injunctions, following his orders only. Does not mean that necessarily. It means following his experience, sharing his experience actually. Because before becoming a prophet, he did not have any official religion whatsoever. As far as we know from history, he was neither Christian nor Jew, nothing. Maybe he was a follower of Ibrahim, but that is a very vague idea. See, he was a Hanif. But what he had, and what made him a prophet was his experience. He used to go to Hara cave, as you know, for many years. And so he used to spend his time contemplating and meditating in that. And that was